My name is Lyn Stinson, and I worked for community action for about 41 years. And I got involved really kind of a weird way how I got involved in the 60s. um, I always say I sort of got this job standing on the street corner, so I found out that's not a real cool way to say it, but it really is. There was a person who in school, I was involved in the PTA and different things, and she was working for this new program, and which was Head Start. And so she was talking about it and really excited about it. And I said, that sounds like something I would be interested in. So that's how I kind of got involved. And then she was telling me about a job as a social service aide. So I filled out the application, and that's how I got involved. Well, first, my job at the time was a temporary crossing guard for the school. So I have to say that. That's why I said I got it standing on the street corner. I'm originally from Alabama, and I moved here in 1965. And I moved here because this is my husband's hometown. Believe it or not, he was born and bred. So many people are not born and bred. He was actually born here. So that's how I got to Burlington. And so we moved here. And at the time, I was thinking, oh, I'm not going to stay here, And here it is, 60 years later. And what am I doing? Still sitting here. And I have 3 children. And later, my husband and I divorced. So I was a single parent. So I could relate to parents that I was single mothers that I was working with. Started in Head Start. Then they developed the neighborhood centers. So I got involved in that. And then I became, was working in the neighborhood center as parent. I worked as the parent involvement person. Then I became director for the neighborhood centers. And so I have been involved in all kind of programs, community food, teaching families how to grow their own food. And we had tutoring programs and all kinds of things going on. So,
I'm sure in 41 years, you saw lots of changes. What are some big changes that stick out in your mind?
Well, the thing that stuck out in my mind most of all is when, at the beginning, it was called OEO, Office of Economic Opportunity. And when Nixon was president, part of the thing was to close down the agency. And so the person who was in charge, so we had to I said Watergate sort of saved us because that became more important. So we actually was closing our buildings down. We had boxes packed. We were ready to close down. And then we were saved. So I remember that most of all. The program ended. And when we started, we were so naive and so excited about the program because there were a lot of poverty, and so we were going to come in and save the world. And we always said we were working ourselves out of a job. By next year, we won't need this job because we're going to save the world, and we're going to have all these people. And today is more than ever, more people in poverty. But at that time, 56 years ago, however long ago it was, we really had the idea that we were going to come in and do all these great things, introduce people how to work, how to do this, and no more poverty. So that was exciting to be in, to do that. So, but it was all about helping people. And other experience I going to conferences and different things. I probably would never have had gone to those cities, Mm-hmm. Bringing in other organizations, like we work with Extension Service a lot to bring in and do programs with them. Then as a staff person, I was learning also. Because, like I said, I was a single parent. So I was learning techniques and things also. So it was good for me, help me learn things, help me relate to people, and care about people, care about this community, and what's going on.
Is there any advice that you would like to share with our staff?
Well, first of all, I think you got to be a special person for community action. You got to care about people. And it can't be just a job, like, well, I've got a job and I'm getting a paycheck and I'm going to do what's necessary. You really have to care about people, and you really need to accept them no matter what, right where they are at that moment, and then go forward. One of the things I used to when I worked with families is ask, what would you like to do in 5 years? Where would you like to be? And if somebody could come in without even a high school diploma and they were like, oh, I want to be a nurse. So that's good, great. So we start from there. First you gotta get your GED or school diploma, whatever. And then we go step by step. And we did have some people who did go through those. So then that's exciting whenever that happens. But you can't ever think, oh, they're coming in too much, or they're abusing the system. That cannot be in your mind. It may be happening, but that can't be what you're thinking when when you see people who are in need. And you got to hear their whole story and go and include the whole family, not just the person sitting across the desk from you, what's going on with your kids. The thing that disturbs me more than anything is to seeing how divided people are. And I don't understand why that is. So I guess sort of the first step is to start caring about each other and caring about your neighbors again and get involved in different things. So anyway, it was a good journey for me. It may not be for everybody, but for me, it was a really good experience. And like I said, I've met so many people through the years who were in and out of community action, some who were my best friends. It was because I had no family here. I moved here and I still don't have family because all my kids are gone. But so it was like a lot of my coworkers were like family to me, helped me through my crisis and things. And so you have to care about people who are coming in for help, but you have to care about your coworkers also and be aware of their needs, because you never know.